In the vast anime multiverse where reality and fiction mix, an epic battle is about to happen. This is the story of Monkey D. Luffy, the aspiring king of the pirates, and Satoru Gojo, the strongest Jujutsu Sorcerer. Luffy has a spirit as tough as rubber thanks to the Gum Gum fruit. His dream is to become the king of the pirates and find the One Piece. His willpower, endless optimism, and strong haki make him a powerful opponent. Gojo is the peak of power in Jujutsu Kaisen. With his limitless curse technique and 6 eyes, he can control space, mass, and time, making him almost unbeatable. When Luffy meets Gojo, sparks will fly. Can Luffy's determination and strength defeat Gojo's invincible powers and skills? Or will Gojo's limitless power be too much for Luffy? This clash of titans will shake the universe and be remembered for ages. Stick to the end of the video and witness the real conqueror. In a fight between Luffy and Gojo, it would be an intense and thrilling clash of abilities. Luffy, with his Gomu Gomu no Mi powers and haki, has some incredibly powerful attacks. He can stretch his limbs to launch powerful attacks like the Gomu Gomu no Pistol and can deliver finishing moves like the Gomu Gomu no Bazooka, which are strong enough to knock back even the toughest opponents. On the other hand, Gojo possesses extraordinary abilities thanks to his mastery of curse techniques and his powerful limitless ability. He can move at lightning speeds, teleport, and manipulate space itself. Gojo's hand-to-hand combat skills are top-notch, and he can heal himself from even the most severe injuries using his reversed curse technique. His limitless ability allows him to alter space on an atomic level, creating devastating effects and making him incredibly difficult to hit. In their fight, Luffy would start by launching a barrage of his signature attacks. He'd stretch his arms back and unleash the Gomu Gomu no Bazooka, aiming to overpower Gojo with sheer strength. However, Gojo's ability to manipulate space would give him a significant advantage. He could easily dodge Luffy's attacks by teleporting or altering the space around him. Gojo would counter with his own moves, using Limitless to twist the space around Luffy, potentially immobilizing him by twisting his limbs. Despite Luffy's resilience and ability to take hits, Gojo's precise and overwhelming control over space would make it difficult for Luffy to land any decisive blows. Gojo's ability to heal from injuries would also mean that even if Luffy managed to hit him, Gojo would quickly recover and continue the fight. As the battle progresses, Gojo's superior control over space and his diverse range of techniques would start to wear Luffy down. Luffy's brute force and determination might allow him to land a few hits, but Gojo's strategic use of his powers would keep him mostly out of harm's way. Gojo's limitless ability and his skillful manipulation of space would give him the upper hand, allowing him to neutralize Luffy's attacks and eventually subdue him. Luffy then starts throwing a flurry of rapid punches at Gojo. However, Luffy's punches could never reach Gojo because of his limitless ability. Gojo can create an invisible barrier that makes it impossible for Luffy to touch him, no matter how many punches he throws. Frustrated but determined, Luffy might switch to a more powerful move, the Gomu Gomu no Storm. He would inflate his body and release a devastating attack using the momentum of the air escaping his body. But again, Gojo's manipulation of space would render this attack useless. This space between them would stretch infinitely, making it seem like Luffy's attack never reaches Gojo. In an attempt to change tactics, Luffy might use the Gomu Gomu no Ogan rifle, winding up his arm with a gold ball attached and striking at Gojo. Yet, Gojo's abilities allow him to twist space around Luffy's arm, making the attack miss completely. Luffy would find his arm distorted and unable to connect with his target. Throughout the fight, Gojo would remain calm and collected. Using his immense speed, he could teleport around the battlefield, avoiding any of Luffy's attacks with ease. If Luffy managed to get close, Gojo could use his physical strength to fend him off or use his ability to twist space, immobilizing Luffy by twisting his limbs. Even if Luffy managed to land a hit, Gojo could heal himself using his reversed curse technique, recovering from any injury almost instantly. The fight would showcase Gojo's superiority in manipulating the battlefield and controlling the pace of battle, leaving Luffy unable to land a single effective blow. Despite Luffy's creativity and determination, Gojo's control over space and his defensive techniques would make it impossible for Luffy to touch him. Then, Luffy would start by using Gear 2 to increase his speed and agility. His rubbery body allows him to handle the increased blood flow, making him much faster and stronger. He combines this with haki, making his punches extremely powerful. One of his signature moves, Red Hawk, would have his fist ignite into flames as he strikes. However, Gojo's infinity ability would be a huge problem for Luffy. As Luffy attacks, his punches would slow down as they get closer to Gojo. It would seem like Luffy's fists are stopping mid-air, unable to reach Gojo. This happens because infinity stretches the distance between Luffy's punches and Gojo, making it impossible for Luffy to actually hit him. Even if Luffy tries multiple attacks or speeds up, he can't break through Gojo's perfect defense. Gojo can control the space around him, and nothing can get through without his permission. Offensively, Gojo can use his blue technique to create a small black hole that pulls everything nearby into it. This would disrupt Luffy's movements and make it hard for him to maintain his attack rhythm. If Luffy gets too close, Gojo can use this ability to throw him off balance or even cause serious harm. Gojo also has the ability to teleport instantly, making it hard for Luffy to predict his moves or land any hits. Gojo could easily dodge Luffy's attacks and reappear in a better position to strike back. Then, Luffy would use Gear 3 to inflate his arm and deliver a powerful punch aimed at Gojo. This punch can destroy steel doors in large structures, especially when enhanced with Haki. However, as Luffy's massive fist approaches Gojo, it begins to slow down and eventually stops mid-air, unable to reach him. This is due to Gojo's Infinity technique, which creates an impenetrable barrier by slowing down anything that tries to touch him to an infinite degree. Despite his powerful attacks, Luffy can't get past Gojo's perfect defense. Even Luffy's rare and powerful technique, Gomu Gomu no Gigant Jet Shell, combining the strengths of Gear 2nd and Gear 3rd, fails to breach Gojo's Infinity. Luffy's punches, no matter how fast and powerful, just can't reach their target. Gojo, on the other hand, can attack freely. He uses his blue technique to create a small black hole, pulling in matter from around Luffy. This disrupts Luffy's movements and creates an opening for Gojo to strike. Gojo's ability to teleport also allows him to move instantly around the battlefield, making it impossible for Luffy to predict or counter his attacks. Every time Luffy tries to get close, Gojo uses Infinity to keep him at bay or teleports to a different location, continuing his relentless assault. Luffy's powerful attacks are rendered useless against Gojo's seemingly untouchable defense and spatial manipulation. Luffy now activates his Gear 4 form, transforming into Bound Man. With his body resembling a giant rubber ball, he bounces around the battlefield, making it difficult for Gojo to land a hit. Luffy's attacks are ferocious. He retracts his limbs into his body and releases them with immense force, aiming powerful punches and kicks at Gojo. However, Gojo is no ordinary opponent. Utilizing his 6 eyes, he perceives Luffy's movements with unparalleled clarity, even with his eyes covered. This allows Gojo to stay one step ahead, predicting Luffy's attacks before they land. He uses his Red Curse technique to push Luffy away, creating a force that sends Luffy flying but without causing much damage due to Luffy's rubbery body. Switching to Snake Man, Luffy increases his speed, his punches becoming almost invisible as they shoot towards Gojo from multiple directions. The agility and unpredictability of Snake Man make it harder for Gojo to anticipate every move, but Gojo's limitless ability proves its worth. He activates his Blue Curse technique, creating a mini black hole that pulls Luffy towards him, disrupting his attacks and breaking his rhythm. Gojo then combines Blue and Red to unleash his most devastating technique, Hollow Purple. This powerful attack disintegrates anything it touches. Luffy, sensing the danger, uses his observation Haki to narrowly avoid the deadly sphere. Despite his best efforts, the intense energy of Hollow Purple creates shockwaves that rattle Luffy, pushing him to his limits. As the fight drags on, Luffy's Haki starts to wane. He shifts to Tank Man, hoping to endure Gojo's relentless attacks. His massive form provides exceptional defense, but it also makes him a bigger target. Gojo, with his 6 eyes, sees the opportunity. He bombards Tank Man with precise, powerful strikes, pushing Luffy back and wearing him down. Luffy's energy depletes rapidly. He reverts to his base form, needing time to recharge his Haki. This is the moment Gojo has been waiting for. With the final, concentrated use of his Hollow Purple, Gojo creates a massive sphere of energy that engulfs Luffy, causing severe damage. Exhausted and unable to continue, Luffy falls. Though he fought valiantly and pushed Gojo to use his most powerful techniques, the combined might of Gojo's 6 eyes and curse techniques proves too much for him. Gojo stands victorious, showing that even against a powerful and versatile fighter like Luffy, his mastery of space and energy gives him the upper hand. Luffy, having been brutally defeated in their previous encounter, awakens his Gear 5 form, also known as the Sun God Nika. This transformation turns his hair and clothes white, gives him ringed pupils, and enhances his rubbery body to a level beyond imagination. With Gear 5, Luffy can manipulate space itself, making his surroundings as flexible as his own body. Despite the immense power, this form quickly drains his stamina. Gojo, on the other hand, brings his unique curse techniques into play. Utilizing his limitless ability, he alters the space around him with blue, red, and purple techniques. Blue creates a spatial vacuum, drawing everything in like a black hole. Red pushes away with tremendous force. When combined, they form Hollow Purple, a devastating energy ball that disintegrates anything it touches. Gojo's ultimate move, Domain Expansion Unlimited Void, traps opponent in a realm of infinite stimuli, rendering them completely immobile and vulnerable. The battle commences with Gojo unleashing his blue technique, attempting to pull Luffy into a spatial vortex. Luffy, in Gear 5, bends the space around him, skillfully evading the pull. He counters with a massive punch, his fist inflated to an enormous size. Gojo reacts swiftly, using red to repel the attack with equal force. The battlefield transforms into a chaotic dance of warped space and powerful strikes. Luffy's Gear 5 abilities shine as he twists and contorts around Gojo's attacks. He manipulates the ground beneath Gojo, turning it into rubber and destabilizing him. With a roar, Luffy uses his Gomu Gomu no Bajrangan, his fist growing to colossal proportions before slamming towards Gojo. Gojo responds with Hollow Purple, the destructive energy ball hurtling towards Luffy. Despite some of the impact being absorbed by his rubbery nature, Luffy is still injured. In a desperate move, Gojo activates his domain expansion Unlimited Void. Luffy is suddenly trapped in an endless realm of stimuli, his mind bombarded to the point of paralysis. Yet, drawing upon the essence of the sun god Nika, Luffy's indomitable willpower and creativity come to the forefront. He begins to bend the space within the domain itself, twisting the infinite stimuli into a manageable form and breaking free from the void's effects. With the battlefield in disarray and both fighters nearing their limits, Luffy summons every ounce of his remaining strength for a final assault. He distorts the space around Gojo, disorienting him, and then launches a devastating punch infused with Conqueror's Haki. Gojo, despite his formidable techniques in spatial manipulation, cannot withstand the sheer unpredictability and raw power of Gear 5. The punch connects, overwhelming Gojo and sending him crashing to the ground. Exhausted and drained, Luffy stands victorious. His mastery of Gear 5, combined with his relentless spirit and boundless imagination, has allowed him to dominate one of the strongest sorcerers. The battle not only showcases the incredible potential of Luffy's Gear 5, but also cements his place as a truly unstoppable force.